We're going to talk about how to get you a first paying customer as soon as you are just starting or have just started a software business. As a sales development professional that's in the industry for over 5 years, I will outline 5 steps you need to take as soon as you are starting or are planning to get your initial paying customers. A short intro. My name is Andrew and I've been in sales development industry for a little bit over 5 years. Throughout this time, we've been setting up sales development teams for SaaS companies of different kinds, but for the vast majority of businesses, we were looking for their initial paying customers. Therefore, steps I and my team usually go through are fairly similar and I would like to outline them today. For the purpose of this video, let's imagine that you are a SaaS founder with 0 to 10 clients and you are looking into getting your first paying customers all by yourself to minimize your expenses. There are 5 steps you need to go through to get your initial paying customers, and let's start from the initial step. So as soon as you've decided to get your first paying customers, the first thing you want to do is you want to define your ideal customer profile. Ideal customer profile is the type of customers that you would want to get for your business, and you have to define the ideal customer profile prior to taking on any activity and allocating any marketing or sales budget. First thing you need to do is you need to analyze any customers you currently have as soon as you have them, or presume who your ideal customer is as soon as you don't have any customers. If you don't have them, never mind. You can presume an ideal use case, an ideal customer, and a value proposition for this segment. So the first thing you need to do is you need to identify your ideal customer profile. As soon as you have outlined your ideal customer profile based on your current client portfolio or on clients that you want to have, the next thing you want to do is you want to sharpen this ideal customer profile. You want to sharpen it to the point where your target audience is super unique. Therefore, you can apply a single value proposition for all the companies within the segment. And the reason for that is that lots of tech founders or founders of software companies have teams or platforms that they presume can do anything. It's not. They think that the value proposition is only limited by the geography they can serve and the type of customers they can take on in terms of size, but it's not. For example, call center platforms are being used in extremely different ways. Answering service companies use it to track billing time for their clients and to distribute calls, while sales teams use it to only make outbound calls. So here we have a single platform, multiple ideal customer profiles, multiple use cases, and multiple value propositions. You need to focus on one value proposition, one ideal customer profile, and one segment. As soon as you have outlined your value proposition, your ideal customer profile, and the use case, it's time to act. So it's time to move to step 3, to find your ideal customers. No magic bullet here. The only thing you need to do is to find anywhere between 3 dozens and a couple of hundred companies that technically fit into your ideal customer profile. Then go to LinkedIn and find decision makers that might be buying your platform or a service. The process is pretty straightforward. You can find companies on any sources that are relevant for your industry, then go to LinkedIn and then find people who are making buying decision. As soon as you are not sure who is making a buying decision for your product or a service, you have to find a person who presumably will use your platform or a service. You have to find them and add them to a simple spreadsheet. You can add basic information there. You can add their names, emails, phone numbers, company names, titles, any other information that is important for you as a business owner. As soon as you've formed the list, it's time to move to the 4th step. You are able to handle this step on your own, and that's pretty much the best way to do it as soon as you are just starting. But as soon as you see that your time is valuable, or you don't have enough time for it, or you don't have the expertise, you're able to hire experts to do that. Here at SalesNash, we're able to provide you with a dedicated resource to find all the prospecting data that you need, and we're able to do that free of charge for 1 day. Feel free to use the link in comments to provide us with your ideal customer profile, and we would be glad to provide you with a free of charge sample within 1 day. The 4th step is pretty straightforward and the most complex one at the same time. Now you have to reach out to your potential customers to start generating conversations that are later going to be converted into deals. What you have to do is you have to find the right balance between time you invest into starting those conversations and the number of conversations you are going to have. So I would suggest every newcomer in the sales development world to start an email campaign. Presumably you already have your value proposition, use case, and the list that you were able to generate. So now the next step is for you to create an email campaign. There is plenty of guidelines on how to create an email campaign that works, but pretty much the only thing that you need to track is email open rate and email response rates that you have in your campaign. As soon as you get to anywhere around 50% open rate and anywhere around 3 to 5% response rate, you are good. In a couple of hours to a couple of days, you'll be generating conversations that will later convert into demos or discovery calls. Now that you have started your email campaign and you start generating conversations, it's time to convert those conversations into deals. Your main point is to drive your prospects to a clear call to action, which is usually to have a demo of your product or to have a discovery call with you or any member of your sales team. So what you want to do is you want to have as many conversations as possible, presumably with prospects that fit under your ideal customer profile with a goal of getting the intel you need. So you need to know everything possible about the pain points they have within the industry, about use cases they have within the industries, about everything that they use. And second, you need to drive those people to have a discovery call or a demo with your sales team. This point is highly custom because it highly depends on the industry you are in and on the sales process you have. But after a couple of conversations, you will be able to get your first customer. Don't be in a rush. It would take anywhere around 50 to 300 companies for you to get the initial customer, but as soon as you reach out to them throughout the week and you are persistent, you will get your initial customer fast. So now it's time for step 5. Presumably you have outlined your ideal customer profile, found the prospects that you would like to reach out, and reached out to them on email. Now it's time for you to convert those conversations into demos or discovery calls. This one is pretty straightforward. You need to speak with prospects on the language they speak, get them to the point where they are ready to invest some time into speaking with you, and schedule a call or a demo. Everything is pretty simple, but you have to expect that a huge portion of those conversations that you were able to generate won't lead nowhere. No worries, you just need to collect all the possible intel that you need about those prospects throughout the conversation span with them. You need to either have a call or an email conversation and get as much information as possible for you to adjust your email campaign and further efforts that you would like to invest, including calling campaign, social media campaign, etc. Your main goal is for now is to have as many demos and discovery calls as possible and collect as many intel as you can. At the end of the day, you are going to get your first customer. Okay, so to summarize everything that we discussed, there are 5 crucial steps you need to take as soon as you would like to get your first paying customer. One is you have to define your ideal customer profile as detailed as possible. Second, you have to sharpen this ideal customer profile, maybe into a couple of ideal customer profile, and create a value proposition tied to a use case or a pain point for each ideal customer profile. Third step is simple. You have to find prospects that fit your requirements and find decision makers within your prospect companies. Fourth step is you have to reach out to start the conversation, and the goal here is to have as many conversations as possible for you to convert them into demos or discovery calls. And step 5, you have to convert those conversations into demos, discovery calls, get as much intel as possible for you to move your campaign forward and get some of those potential customers to become your actual customers and pay you. As a bonus, a couple of main takeaway advice for young founders who are trying to get their first customer. First, math is the king when starting the business, but it's even more important as soon as starting your sales process. You have to calculate accurately and you have to expect that to get one paying customer, you would need to reach out to anywhere between 3 dozens and 20 dozens potential customers and have about 10% of those as a conversations for you to get the initial customer. Second thing you need to remember is persistence is the key. For you to get your ideal customer, you have to A, prospect all the time, B, you have to handle as many conversations as possible, and C, you have to convert those conversations through a demo or a discovery call. Therefore, you should be good at a demo or a discovery call with your customer as well. And fourth step is focus is important. You should focus on one ideal customer profile, one value proposition, one use case or one pain point at the same time. That will allow you to get demos or discovery calls that you want to convert into paying customers, and as soon as you get them, they will be your customers for life. All the information that I've shared is designed for young founders or young sales leaders who would like to take their sales development or sales off the ground by themselves. As soon as you would like somebody else to do it, me and our team are here, so feel free to subscribe to our channel, ask any questions and comments, I'll make sure to respond to those questions personally. Thanks, and see you later.